Morning.
Doesn't count second time round, does it? And welcome back to Mark Steele.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right. I was hopelessly behind on the arse contest there.
You're non-starter, Arky. Don't even think about it.
Well, it's already been one hands down by me. You see, it only happens once a night.
But I was hoping to get second place at least, but I wasn't even out of the stalls, was I?
No chance.
You weren't. Now, listen, the Mark Steele Solution starts again, a new series.
Yeah, it does. It starts tomorrow night on Radio 4. I wouldn't possibly have done it on Monday to Thursday because that would be clashing with you. And that would be
Quite right, nice
very
one.
nice.
Completely unethical.
Arse.
Sorry, Arky.
But the brilliant thing about it was we did a series last year, and the idea for people who don't know is that each week come up with a solution to try and change the world for the better, which sounds mad and isn't. Like last year did things like having a job should be illegal and such things. And then sometime earlier this year, just before we started writing this one, one of the sort of people who's in the business at Radio 4, who's very high up, said, this year, when you do the solution, try and make it more controversial. So we thought, well, brilliant. So the first solution, which goes out tomorrow night, is trying to convince everybody that everybody should be made to be gay for 2 years.
Right. I mean, this is like the Warhol-esque thing we were talking about at the beginning. Everybody should be famous for 15 minutes and gay for 2 years. And without giving away the whole programme, how does this help?
Well, it would help, first of all, because it would get rid of the sort of image, the ridiculous image of gays, that people have at the moment of that sort of, the idea that people who are gay go around all day going, "Ooh, chase me," and stupid things like that, because, which is daft, isn't it? Because first of all, if that was the case, Oscar Wilde's most famous ever witticism would have been, "Ooh, ducky, look at the state of her." And, for instance, we know that in ancient Rome, right, the rulers they used to have male sex slaves. So Julius Caesar was gay, but there's no record of him ever having said, "Ooh, is that a dagger on my back? Are you just pleased to see me?"
Yeah.
And also, there's so many people that maybe aren't completely out gay, but they've had some sort of gay experience at some time or other. So, and you might know
speaking from personal experience here, Mark.
Well, I'm speaking of personal experience with people I know, who have sort of, for ages, and then one night you're having a drink or something, and they'll suddenly say, they've had a couple of pints, they say, "Well, there was this one time when I was about 18, and me and my mate used to play snooker every night, and one night all the tables were booked, so we went to bed together instead." So there's all those people who'd be much more out about it. And then I think also, it would just be a lot more fun. You'd have to have a gay Shabba Ranks. Right. And we've got a gay Shabba Ranks song on the programme, and you'd have to have a gay Pope. And it'd just be better all round. You'd get to know your family more. So, for instance, if you had a kid who was like just sitting around all day, the father, it'd be like National Services out at work. He'd be able to say, "Look here, sitting around watching Baywatch all day long. You need a bit of homosexual sense knocked into you. That's what you need. I'll tell you what, when I was your age, my uncle, he was proud when he was your age. He'd been gay in Burma, gay in Cyprus. The whole map of the world was pink, mate."
Right, so that's what other ones have you got lined up for the series as well?
Well, they've got one about charity that says that anyone who gives to charity should be put in jail.
That's fair enough, yeah.
Just one quick simple point about that. I mean, we say like people who give to charity generally who put a quid in the blind box or whatever, their motives are good, right? But they're going to have to go to jail for their own good. But then there's the people like, when do you see Phil Collins? Someone like Phil Collins come on the telly, and someone like that comes on and he does this thing of like just £20,000 is all that's needed to give this village in Sudan water for a year, and you just think, well, bloody give it to them.
Yeah.
You've probably got that down the back of your settee.
Well, Phil Collins should certainly go to prison, shouldn't he? Without any shadow of a doubt. Right.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Right. Arse.
Oh, flipping it.
Survival guide. Talking about holidays, as we were earlier, there's a brilliant article in the papers today listing some of the bizarre complaints people have made about their package holidays in an attempt to get compensation. This in the wake of 2 British women awarded £3,000 for trauma after being pestered by Tunisian waiters. One bloke complained to the tour operator that, this is a quote, "the aircraft I was travelling on landed 4 feet from the ground," which to me suggests someone who's got cold feet at carrying his drugs through customs and has done the whole lot minutes before descending into Malaga. Another couple complained that they had to check out of their room every day, and it emerged in fact that a notice on the door told guests to vacate the room by 10:30 a.m, obviously at the end of the holiday, but these two had dutifully repacked their cases every day and left them in the hotel lobby, which to me suggests someone who is thick as pig shit and shouldn't be allowed out without trained help. Then there was the couple who moaned of being sexually frustrated for the duration of the holiday because the apartment was too small, which to me suggests someone enormously fat, because how much room do you actually need to lie on top of each other and have it off? Another good one was the woman who wanted to cancel her holiday at the last minute with full refund because, quote, due to no fault of my own, I have fallen pregnant, which is so stupid and pathetic, and coincidentally exactly the excuse Lard gave for not going to Pontin's Prestatyn with me in the summer of 77. And then the following year, he said he didn't want to go because he caught a sexually transmitted disease, contracted, he thought, from a door handle on a public lavatory. I mean, for goodness sake, Mr. Riley, I said, because we weren't on first name terms then, and I often wish we still weren't. How thick can you get? You can't catch it off a door handle. You really don't know anything, do you? And that's when I took him under my wing and vowed to show him the ways of the world. And since then, he's not had any more of those nasty infections, since I showed him how to put 2 pieces of toilet paper around the seat of public lavatories before sitting. Lucky one of us knows what's what, eh? We wanted Gorky's Zygotic Monkey, but we're not playing them tonight. And Reese goes on, I would just like to say that I find the number of people requesting one of Lard's immortal catchphrases despicable. The boy Lard is not some kind of performing monkey, but he's wrong, because you are, aren't you?
Of course I am.
He said, P.S. could you get Lard to say fancy a brew?
Fancy a brew?
There you go. Case proved. Mark Steele is with us tonight. You're intrigued by the aeroplane down in there.
I am, and I'm also intrigued by this bit of paper that's in front of Lard there, which if it ever if it floated out of the window and landed in the street and someone picked it up, it would drive them mad wondering what they, what it meant. So I'll just, so it's to do with the programme, because it's just a big bit of paper on it in really big letters. It says, say arse first competition, arse. Arse.
Now, you see, Galton and Simpson, they wrote Steptoe and all that, and they started like that. And you're giving me back, you see, now I know what he's doing, that was on its way into his wallet, because that would be worth money in a few years' time. You keep your hands off you, write your own stuff.
Monkhouse.
Really? Write your own stuff. God, it's terrible getting these comedians.
What would you think if you just saw that in the road?
You think that's Lard?
That's his script for the night. Yeah. That is it, yeah.
And I was intrigued by the aeroplane thing. I love the bloke who said that the plane landed. It can't have obviously said that. Rung up. Can I have my money back? The plane landed 4 feet off the ground.
Apparently, they are all genuine complaints, these things.
Did they look up in the records to see if the captain at any point did say, unfortunately, we are running out of fuel and so we'll be landing 4 feet from the ground. If you could make your own way the last 4 feet, that will be of great help.
Well, it's like, I just love the idea of that couple who obviously never been on a holiday before and thought he saw the notice and repacked the cases every day, shuffled down left and went swimming, took them all back. And did they not wonder why other people weren't doing exactly
No, they thought, they're breaking the rules, but we're English and we'll do it properly.
Yeah,
we get up at 6 o'clock, we sit outside with our suitcases in case they don't get stolen. And then we go back in again late at night. We had a very nice time, but we didn't go outside at all.
That's it, watching the cases all day. And talking about the essence of Englishness, you're a real cricketing man, aren't you?
I am indeed.
By way of fatuous link.
I am, and it's this is completely driving me mad, and I know in a world of atrocities this is not the greatest injustice, but it is almost, which is that the cricket used to be on. When it was on all day, and now it isn't because they stop and they go over to the racing.
Are you talking about telly or radio?
On the telly.
Right.
You're just getting into it.
But that's because it's boring.
Lard!
Of course it is! Well, you need, like, some wrestling. You need Mick McManus to come on for a couple of hours.
You can't do that. It's the thing is that day's cricket is like a play which is being written in front of you, and you can't just go and leave it for 20 minutes. It'd be like if the film was on and they said, well, we're leaving The Godfather now to go over to
But
Wimbledon
if it was a film of a load of blokes in a field in white pants just throwing a ball at each other, you'd be welcome something else.
How it develops.
I'm going out of there. I'm not having any more. It's like a bit of rugby and a bit of wrestling. It's cricket, bollocks.
Well, imagine if halfway through the wrestling, and the bloke's just about to give it a fall, and they say, well, we'll be coming back to the wrestling later on, but first of all, we're going over to Kempton Park to watch some people's hats. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. You can't do it. You can't come back halfway through a play and say, well, while there'll be Richie Benno going, well, while you were away, a couple of people have been killed, and the Prince of Denmark has found a ghost.
Wouldn't work, would it?
It wouldn't.
Anyway, you don't want to listen to him anyway. His idea of an interesting day is sit at home breaking wind and reading Pig Breeder Monthly, you know. So
writing,
makes no difference
on a bit of paper.
Yeah.
Also, there's another thing with it, is that they also get these people now that are completely...
I tell you what, he's one who can say bollocks and cobblers, hasn't he? He's won those competitions. He does that every night.
There was no prize for that.
No, indeed.
But there's these presenters as well now that obviously haven't got a clue. There was one a few weeks ago. They came away from the cricket and there was a presenter there who said, well, that was certainly a good hit, wasn't it? This isn't right, is it?
Well, it's disgraceful, isn't
I thought they were, and then it went over to the motor racing, and I thought, and they're going to say, well, now we're going over to the Grand Prix, where they're certainly going to use up a lot of petrol going at that speed, aren't they? My word.
And probably landing 4 feet off the ground at the end of it. All right, now, Lardy boy, you've got an interesting letter there, a missive, an epistle that has come your way.
It's not very interesting, really, but there's a guy called Ian McDonald who lives in Glasgow, which is, of course, BMX territory. And he's written to us, he's a bit hacked off with us.
I think it says that as you leave the motorway, doesn't it? You are now entering BMX bandit country.
Probably. And he says here, I used to enjoy listening to the Mark Radcliffe Show until he and his sidekick started talking with fake hoarse voices. Don't remember that, do you?
I don't remember that, no.
They sound like flipping willy heads. And who knows, maybe they are. So as soon as they start, I change to Tin Pot Local Radio, blah, blah, Ian McDonald. I'm really sorry. I mean, I haven't got a clue. But what I've done, we've tuned into his radio, because you can do that with technology.
You can.
And you can tell if he's...
That's how they do the audience research, isn't it? Because we're connected to everybody's radio in the country. If someone turns off, it measures, you know.
We can tell. And if you listen to this now, then, I just have a clock on this, right? Now, that is actually Ian's radio, which is, as you can hear, is tuned to 1FM at the moment.
Hiya, Ian.
Hiya, matey. And
I don't know why we're waving.
Well, it's good telly, isn't it? And but basically, we're gonna keep in on Ian's radio, and if he turns off for any reason, I mean, I don't understand this hoarse voice stuff, but I mean, what it is like a bit anyway, so we're going to tune into him later and see how we go.
Right, okay.
Basically, but I'll turn it off for now because it's a bit annoying, isn't it?
It's very annoying too.
I should probably leave it on then.
So is Ian, judging by his
What's good about this letter is it's all sort of like, the wording of it is all real NME speak. It's all like, because there was a couple of words that were left out there, but it's all written like, yeah, all right, okay, well, I'm sick of it, right, because this is one thing that makes me throw is all this, like, and except that it's written in this really sort of smart bit of paper, and it's got Dear Sir at the top and things like. And if you're going to write, Ian, if you're going to write angry letters that you want to make you out to be a 17-year-old Rage Against the Machine freak who's going to sort of put letter bombs to anyone you don't like,
or
don't
cry.
Put Dear Sir first,
right.
and
do it in red ink. That usually gets me going.
And then this really beautiful laid out thing that's obviously about 40 grand's worth of computer. It does knock out the effect a bit.
Anyway, we'll check his radio a bit later on. I mean, in fact, talking about technology, another interesting story from the paper today is, this is a cracker as well. The newest device from Michael Howard, the Home Secretary for Fighting Crime, the telephone-linked electronic tag, has run into trouble on its first day. Unfortunately, the first offender in Britain to be tagged isn't on the phone. So that's a good, they've actually got to install a phone for him now, and it's unclear whether they'll be able to...
So the old Bill will come round his house. Excuse me, we would just like to fit a phone in for you if we can, if there's any other electrical appliances that you would like fitted in with.
So it's a brilliant plan, isn't it? So, but you've got mobile phone phobia, haven't you?
Yeah, it wasn't a phobia, but it's just noticed that the last couple of days, it's definitely... well, over the last few weeks, it's definitely changed, the old mobile phone thing, because it's a bit like, you know, when answering machines first come in and everybody was a little bit wary of them and left messages like,
answering
hello.
machines just have come in at our house, haven't they?
Oh, blimey.
We've only had one a month.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, I'm up north now. But, you know what, we're not having them up here with your southern Nancy bloody electrical appliances. But it was, no, answering machines, when they first came in, like most people, especially anyone who was over the age of about 40, and they left all these messages that were like, is there someone? Who are you? And stuff like that. And then people got confident with them. And it's the same with mobile phones, because a couple of years ago, people just sort of huddled into a corner and looked embarrassed, as they should do.
Yeah.
And now people look so confident with them. And there was a guy I saw on the train, just sat there on the train yesterday, for about 10 minutes, then got off the train, still talking really loudly. And obviously, right, I think he wanted people to think he was a drug dealer, because he's doing all this stuff like, all right, you've got to check this out. You've got to check this out, I'm telling you, but really loud. And then he got off, and everybody, about 10 people were following him, because they're sort of all listening to trying to work out what he was talking about. And then he said, look, I can't understand, why doesn't the guy just go straight to Miami? Now, what can that have been? If the bloke was listening, I would love him to just ring up and say what on earth that conversation was that led him to say, why doesn't he go straight to Miami on a mobile phone?
I mean, everybody can have a mobile phone now. There's sort of no novelty value, is there? I mean, they're about £1 now, aren't they, or something ridiculous?
I suppose so, yeah.
Wouldn't know. I mean, that, as you say, we're not into technology. But yeah, I think you can get them for Buckshee now.
Can you?
I think so.
But the other thing, the BBC had some great mobile phones, because when it was the height of technology, and the BBC decided to have some mobile phones. So whenever it sent anybody out, it sent you with a mobile phone. Except what it was sort of attached to a car battery. You know, so you came back with one arm longer than the other. You had to haul this thing round for about 3.5 weeks every time you went anywhere. And that was the BBC's mobile phone.
That's the BBC for you, isn't it?
BBC, isn't it? Is he still listening there,
Let's have a listen. He's still there. Nice one, Ian.
He's still there. He's still there, aren't you?
No, hang on.
No, go on, right.
Don't push it.
Foo Fighters.
No, I haven't. But I reckon that bedsit would have been a step up from the squat I lived in.
Where was that then?
In, well, quite near where I live now, but not in a squat anymore, in South London. And it was, but everything seemed quite normal at the time, but there were no floorboards in one of the rooms at all. Literally no floorboards, and someone had knocked a wall out, and squatters sort of, a lot of them do that. They get into a place and go, oh, look, windows, man, like they really, I don't like them, man. They're out of date, and they smash them and put a board up and stuff. Yeah. And this place, and the whole street was squats, and it was just perfectly normal for someone to just knock at 4 a.m. and say, you'd go down, answer the door, because no one was in bed at that time. And then someone would be just there going, oh, I've run out of peanut butter, man. And this was, so if anybody was staying, they'd just go, the bloke's just knocked at the door. And then you'd go up and say, well, what did he want? What did he want? And someone died, no, he wanted some peanut butter. And it just seemed normal. And this is true. Once, at one point, I was round someone else's place, all in the road of squats. A bloke knocked on the door, and we went down there, and this bloke stood there, and he said, oh, hello, man, have you got a wardrobe? And we said, well, yeah, there's a wardrobe. He said, oh, can I borrow it, man? I said, well, what do you want to borrow it for? He said, oh, I've got an owl and it's got nowhere to sleep. Honestly, the place where I lived, the bloke moved in, and then about the third day he was there, he ripped out the banisters down the stairs and said, oh, right, now I can get me motorbike in and out. It was just, it really was like that. That bedsit you were talking, that was on then would have been luxury
compared to that. You had no bath in this place?
No bath in the place, and if you had a bath, you were luxury. There was about 3 baths in the whole road, and I went round one night, and there was no light in there, and the bloke just said, oh, no, just get in there, it'll be all right. And I got me clothes off, and I was just about to get in the bath, and I thought, no, I should just check. And I got me clothes back on, went downstairs, got a box of matches, came back up, lit the match, looked in the bath, and there was about 3 inches of oil in there. I went downstairs, and he said, oh, yeah, I forgot I was draining the sump on me. And then the other time, I've got time for this. The other time was this bloke said, oh, come round mine for the bath. And he said, I'm not often in, so I always leave the key just on the latch there, just on this little ledge. And I went and got this guy, and he was never in, this bloke, so about 3-4 times a week for about sort of 6 weeks, I just got the key, went in, had me bath, and one day I'm sort of drying myself quite happily, and this bloke come down the stairs, came in the bathroom, and all a bit embarrassing, and he said, who are you? And I said, oh, it's all right, Chris said I could use the bath. He said, Chris? I said, yeah, Chris, yeah. He said, hang on, and he shouted upstairs, is there a Chris lives here? And this bloke went, oh, Chris moved out about 3 months ago, man.
You've still been bathing on this passkey all the time. I guess reader, Mark Kermode, what's your name?
I can't remember. You should warn me, you're going to ask me these questions. I should,
that's for not calling you Lard, that's for giving you your Sunday name. Mark Kermode is not here. Mark Steele is, and Lardy, but you're still going about...
Maybe I should have a nickname when I'm on here as well. Wait. That's some sort of...
Lamar had one as a monkey boy.
Because he looks like a monkey.
Because of his
ears stick out.
I think everyone should have one that's something to do with cooking, like olive oil or something. Oh, that's already been used in the cartoon.
It's been used, yeah. Well, we'll have to think of one.
I'll be Egg.
Right. That's a good name. Eggy boy.
I loved it when they were, because, did I get that wrong there? The BMX bandits, did they say that was the Scottish, the one who wrote for Aretha Franklin as well? Because that would make...
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Dan Penn we're talking about?
Yeah.
No, he's Welsh.
That'd be good if it... That'd be great, though, Aretha Franklin singing, because that's probably how that song originally went, was, you give me some respect, or what here? Yeah. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, I'm telling you, son, alright?
No, it would have been a good shot, that. But, you're doing about your squat still, though. It's like, all these stories are coming back to you, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, the old days. Well, here's one, right? Now, there was a bloke who, I hadn't seen him for ages, he only lived 2 doors away, and I knocked on the door once, and he said, oh, hello, man, come in, and I said, I know this sounds like a real stereotype thing, but everybody did say man every other word.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what have you been doing? He said, I haven't been out of the house for 3 weeks. I said, well, what have you been doing? He said, I've been doing some painting. I said, oh, have you? Brilliant. I said, can I have a look at one of your paintings? He said, I haven't actually started yet. And there was another, then when we moved out, because the council moved us out, and it all got complicated, but there were 3 of us in this particular squat I was in, and 2 of us got moved out and 1 didn't, and we never quite got round to telling the 3rd bloke that we were going. Right. And we moved out to this council flat, and a couple of days later I went back to see if any post had gone to me at the old squat, and the place was half demolished. They'd all, because they were that's why they were moving people out bit by bit. They wanted to knock the old lot down. And the place was half demolished. And, then the other bloke who'd been living there came out, he was running up the road and he went berserk. And apparently what had happened was that the very next day after the council had moved us out, they thought that they'd moved everybody out of this place and there was no one left. And they'd started just demolishing it, absolutely demolishing it. And this guy never used to get up till about 3 PM. And he had a hammock. He was mad. He was completely mad. He had his hammock. He was asleep in his hammock in the morning. Yeah. And suddenly he has heard all this crashing and he thought, what's that? And they were demolished. They'd knocked a wall down and he's come down the stairs with and the wall's missing. And he hadn't heard that they'd knocked, I think, to check the council.
He woke up on a skip down the road.
I'm sorry, that's probably not very funny. But it just makes me laugh because he wasn't a very nice bloke.
Oh, well, got what he deserved then, didn't he?
Yeah.
Got what he deserved. What have you got there, lad?
Staircase, wooden, wanted. Suit house. It's legitimate, that,
That's the small lads left over from the other night, is it?
Ironing board with seat.
Yeah, I mean,
well, whatever. Just anyway.
Who sent you those? Who sent you those?
Oh, blimey, Charlie, that's from Baz, and he actually sent through this photograph. It's a guy, if you remember, I mentioned he's wearing a Ramones shirt.
Yes.
And he does this long adult thing here about, well, I thought it was adult only because I'm stupid.
Yes.
About all restaurants being called after my fabulous catchphrases and all my comedy things like arse and that, and but he's actually outside a restaurant there called Ho Ho. You look there, you'll
yes.
Be my witness.
There is
it took me about 4 days to get it, but you didn't get it at all, so I thought I was thick.
No, change there then.
Oh, no, hang on.
Change there, what?
Oh, no, flipping heck. Ian in Glasgow will have tuned out now. I want to see when he got to Tin Pot Radio. Let's
check his radio.
Oh, blimey, Charlie.
Blimey, I hope he's not tuned out to Tin Pot local.
Oh, blimey, Charlie is gone.
Mark Radcliffe, missing you already.